BCV2 and BCV3 and BCV4, right? So in this, you can get more understanding requirements. So this is a way you need to understand, even for on-prem, even for cloud, even for any interview point of view, even for any project deliverable. Okay, now I'm going to proceed further. So hereafter, if any interview or any project asks which tier or which data center is more critical, your answer should be tier 4 and BCV1 classified application, right? So there is a traditional. We used to keep by the servers. I almost saturated the capacity. Again, I will add more number of servers. Again, I will buy more number of servers. So even after some time, if I use only one machine, I'm going to pay this server. I'm also need to pay this server because I already purchased all this hardware, even though I'm not utilizing it now, like yesterday. But here, the cloud offering is pretty much straightforward. So today I created 4 VMs, VM1, VM2, VM3, VM4, and tomorrow I'm also need another 2 more VM, and day 3. This is day 1, day 2, day 3. And in this day 3, I need only 4 VM. So day 1, you pay only 4. Day 2, you pay only 6. Day 3, you pay only 4. So which means straightforward, you are utilizing the actual cost effective manner, like how much I am using, how much I am paying. The simple concept, pay as you go, right? This is a real started. People are going for the cloud mode offering, but not exactly the public cloud. People are started building their own cloud. I will explain in a couple of use cases why the cloud is more expensive. If you go to AWS cloud or Azure cloud, of course, if you are not having any huge budget to invest on your own infrastructure, then people are really taking the public cloud offering. If you have edge, the bandwidth, you can implement on your own cloud, and you can also try to build the same. There are so many vendors. I'm quickly go the important topics. Okay, so now main point is what is RPO, what is RTO? Because from fresher to senior level, this is going to be the major key driver everywhere to get good understanding. If you go for a VM creation, then this understanding is very much important. If you go for any failover, this understanding is more important. If you go for high availability, this understanding is more important. So now, who all want to share about RPO and RTO? On even if you are wrong, please don't worry. Please raise your hand. I will unmute it so that you can share your views, so that I can enable the your audio. Those who want to share, okay, Bonu, I'm going to unmute it. Can you share your views, Bonu? Okay, so there is a person Taku. So can you? Okay, so who are all? I think I'm seeing a lot of hands raised. Are you able to hear? Is everyone hearing my voice? Okay, so I'm seeing a couple of hands raised. So Isaac. So Isaac, can you ask your query?
Okay. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. When we talk about RPO,
Yeah.
this is the amount of the data that a business can afford to lose in case there is any there's a failure in their system.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You are correct. See, RPO means recovery point, means data. Recovery RTO means time, that is high availability. Okay, I'm just opening one more presentation so that there is a very good example so that people can understand very clearly. So let me just take that. Yes. See, I hope everyone is seeing this diagram, right? RTO and RPO. Can you confirm in the chat? That is the reason I don't want to go in this mode because people lose this
Yes,
interactive sessions.
we can
Okay.
see you.
Yeah. So here, if you see this, let me just present it so that. Okay. So here, so RPO, recovery point, that means data. So how much data I need? RTO means restoration, recovery time, which is high availability. Say, for example, if my site is down or my server is down, how quickly I can recover? That is the RTO, recovery time objective. If I lose, if I lost the data, how much quickly, how quickly I can restore this data? So that means recovery point. That is the RPO. Recovery time, that is the RTO, high availability. So I will give an example. Every day, we can go with the evening. Every day, 7 p.m. Okay, my backup is getting started, right? So next day morning, say 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Next day, 10 a.m. my complete server is crashed. So from 7 p.m. okay to 10 a.m. almost we have a 13 hours, right? The data is lost. Okay, so now what you will do? So you go back to the client, what you agreed to the client, right? Not you, mostly the solution architect and the senior level people. So while taking the project, they have agreed something to the client. So they say the example is they already agreed to the client. We cannot tolerate, the client cannot tolerate not more than 4 hours data loss or 5 hours data loss, right? This is what agreed you with client. So now how much downtime here? Can you confirm in the chat? This is exactly, I don't want to go in this mute mode. If it is interactive, you can unmute and speak. Okay, can you confirm in the chat? How much data loss? So here 13 hours. So up to 4 hours. If you deduct this 4 hours in here, so 7 hours you need to pay a penalty. But of course, the rest of the 4 hours also you need to answer it. But as per the agreement, 7 hours it's going to be a severe penalty. So now, as a system admin, as a solution architect, as a senior SME, or as a senior person, or as a some technical person, what you will do in order to avoid this embarrassment? What you will do? Can you confirm in the chat, or you will raise your hand? I will unmute it. because this is going to take a lot of time. We cannot cover more topics. That is the reason I requested from the beginning itself. Okay, Harish. Those who are not willing to, can you raise your hand, or you can, once you finished, you can remove your hand raised. I'm seeing Bonu G. Can you, if you don't have any question, please remove your hand raised.
Yeah, so for
Okay.
if the RPO is increased,
Yeah.
then we need to take more frequent backups. For example,
Yes,
let's say
exactly.
our RPO
Exactly.
is 4 hours, so every 4 hours we should have a backup ready. So in case in any event happens in the next 4 hours, we have a ready-made backup which we can restore in the amount of time which is our RTO.
Yeah, the another problem you need to understand as a technical person. Say, for example, this data, this is the server which you got a crashed. This is the server. So this server is having a 300 GB data. Okay. So remember, every 4 hours you are scheduling the backup. That is well and good. But you are started the taking the backup, say 7 o'clock. But due to this data size, your backup is getting completed at 8:30. So which means to take the backup of this volume, it is you need 1 hour 30 minutes, which means there is a expectation every 4 hours, not more than 4 hours data loss, the client cannot tolerate. So how much frequency you will schedule? I given a clue here. Every each backup is taking 1 hour 30 minutes, the whole data volume duration. Any query? People raise your hand. Okay. I'm just going to allow Manigandan. Yeah, go ahead. Raise your hand and I will unmute. I'm going to lower your hand. If you don't have any query, I'm going to lower your hand. Rajkumar.
Hi Vijay. So
Hi.
as we told before, like every 4 hours we can take a backup.
Yeah.
So every time the backup completion time will be 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
So so the next backup we can schedule it as an incremental backup to avoid the full backup timing.
Yeah. So which means you need to keep n -4. That n should be full backup. The other 3 should be incremental.
Incremental.
So this is every day you need to plan this schedule. You agree?
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah. So in that case, even if you get crashed next hour, you still have a more safer side. And nowadays there are a lot of snapshot backup technology, everything. It depends on how much budget you have. So as a technical person, people are really during my interviews, if I ask this RTO and RFO, some people they are replying, no, I'm a junior. I don't have any responsibility on this RTO. No, even you are a fresher, you must understand RTO and RPO. This is going to be help in most of the cases during your interview and your project deliverable. So the 4 hours you take as an example, but you put some approximate value, 300 GB or 400 GB or 1 terabyte. Then you assume some data cycle time, backup cycle time. Then you arrive some calculation, and based on that, you project yourself your understanding on RPO. Okay, now RTO. I'm going to remove all. Okay, so now RTO. So the same example, I'm going to have it. I have server in North Virginia, US, one location. I have a server in Canada, right? So this is going to be my primary. This is going to be my secondary. So I am getting the actual load balancer. So my website, whenever there is a say test.com, it is coming here. It is serving from here. So there is a due to some issue, this entire site is down, right? This entire site is down. And what if happen as part of RTO? What you need to do? Any example, or can you raise your hand? Okay, there is a IME and there is a 𝐸𝐵𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐵𝐻.
I think you have to create a new data center to support that downtime each time, so that by the time the location is down, you're having a downtime.
Yeah.
It will automatically spin up at the nearest one, at the nearest data center.
Okay, but my question is, recovery time objective, what exactly you will plan? I know there is a primary site. I know we know the secondary site. So whenever there is a issue, we need to fail over. But how quick you need to turn? That is the major question. That is the major expectation as part of this RTO. For that, what you will ensure between these sites? Say, for example, this website is down. So you need to go back to the client agreement. You could have agreed with the client, okay, based on this application criticality, BCV, everything is interconnected. So based on this application criticality and as per your expectation, within 2 minutes, not more than 2 minutes, I can ensure your website or your business to be up and running. So within 2 minutes, you must turn this on. All the traffic should start serve from here. So either you need to measure the bandwidth, either you need to point the location via the series of right configuration, load balancer. So there are a lot of parameters you need to take in care, right? The location wise, near point wise. So these are all, as a technical person, we need to carefully plan and implement, right? So the RTO means high availability, how quickly you can restore your business. RPO means how quickly you can avoid more data loss. Okay, there are a lot of hands, so I'm going to allow one by one. Ravi, you go ahead. Okay, Anakin. And Naveen.
Shall I proceed?
Yeah, go ahead. See, the thing is, the reason I don't want to go in this mode is we will waste a lot of times and we will lose more scenario discussion. That is the main reason. Most of my session, I don't want to go in this way. So people who ask, go on mute, then you can unmute and you can ask. I don't think what is the bigger problem in this. We are all working in IT, but we are not following when we come to learning. Go ahead.
Yeah. Give a chance to open all. If still it is the same, we can mute again.
No, people are really, I don't think people listen. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think we have source and target node, and with both the nodes already the site-to-site replication is enabled. So we can migrate all the applications to the target node until the source node gets up and running.
Yes, yes. So, but the site-to-site replication, you need to plan what nearest location you can met with this expectation, because this here, the expectation is 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So if you select, can you go on mute? There are a lot of background noise.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, your answer is it's right, but the problem is what I asked is RTO. There is an expectation. You agreed with client. 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, you need to bring your business. You need to bring your website. So within 2 minutes, you need to decide this location first. That is a first priority. Within 2 minutes, if you want to bring this, then what kind of a bandwidth you need to have between these two sites? Okay, and what kind of a reachability, what kind of a throughput you need to bring quickly as per this expectation. So RTO means again high availability. RPO means it's a data. Okay, let me go and clear. Okay, now I'm going back to the slide, first slide. So how many of you know what is functional requirements, what is non-functional requirements? How many of you know what is functional requirements, what is non-functional requirements? Okay, Isaac. Okay.
Oh, yes. The functional requirement. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. This is a requirement that is very essential for the environment to perform its functions. For example, you want to measure how many CPU that you can sustain your environment. That is one of the functional requirements.
Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to just give you a couple of examples, because this is also one of the things what people are really getting missed out. So even people are thinking that functional requirements and non-functional requirements, it's not my skill set. No, functional requirements and non-functional requirements, it's really essential. So you need to understand what is functional requirements, what is non-functional requirements. Say, for example, you are going to one project, you are going to one support, you are going to create one application as a developer, you are going to support as a solution architect. So basically, functional requirement means the application, how it is going to behave from the end user point of view. So say, for example, if I log in one application, how my authentication going to work out? And the system shutdown in case of cyber attack, what is the mitigation? These are all functional requirements. And once I registered, how the communication will send to me, right? And the managerial level employees, like who has to view on what my application. This is also one of the very good example on functional requirements. How my application should integrate with the monitoring, should integrate with the third party systems, and my application has to pass some kind of a eligibility, because there are a couple of standards, right? So if I want to pass those standards, then what is the expectation? These are all functional requirements. And non-functional requirement means, so this is exactly from backend infrastructure or backend the stability or backend the provisioning point of view. It's going to be more uh, uh, responsibility here. So in non-functional requirements, if you are working in any project, if you are supporting any project, or if you are designing any project, then emails, say for example, you are registering something in your application, or you are restarting something, or so there should be a communication, there is an expectation. Just now we discussed RPO and RTO. Each and every area, RPO and RTO will be mapped. So it's very crucial. So email should send to with latency, not more than 12 hours. So this is, if you want to meet this, then as a technical person, what you will do? Can you raise your hand so that I can unmute? You share even if you are wrong. Charlie, I'm going to unmute it. Yeah.
Hi, Vijay.
Yeah.
I have a basic doubt like in this RTO and RPO. So when we submit the, the SLAs to the client, on what basis we will agree to their SLAs, saying that this will be my RTO and RPO? Will we do any analysis before accepting their SLA?
No. Before that space itself, while getting the contract, while getting the project itself, there will be an enterprise architects, there will be a business architects from both sides, from the vendor side plus the client side. They will agree what kind of expectation, because say for example, the application is not much critical, right? So the classification says it's a BCV3. In that case, you are not bound with 99.9999 availability, correct?
Yes.
We are going to discuss that also very soon. So in that case, they will agree, okay, not more than 5 hours data loss. No, so the business, even if it is failed, should come up within 10 minutes. So these parameter will be decided well ahead during the contract signature itself. So based on that, we are going to start discuss on how frequent we need to take a backup, how frequent we need to take the restoration, and what the failover mechanism we need to roll out. So these are all will comes into the second phase. Okay, so who are all having any query or you want to share this functional requirement? I asked one question. Email should be sent to with a latency of no greater than 12 hours. So for this, as a technical person, while attending interview or while working in any project, what is your view in this? Any idea? So first of all, in your environment as a technical person, yeah, Srikanth, I think anybody wants to share? Okay, so as a technical person, first you implement some email mechanism, right? That email mechanism, you need to understand how quickly. Yes, Srinivas, go ahead. Hello, Srinivas. I have unmuted you. Okay, so I need to implement some email mechanism. That email mechanism should have the capability to handle the volume. So within 12 hours, that means first you need to consider how much intake per hour, how many people are registering, how many emails you need to generate. Not only registration mails, there should be a general notification also should. So you calculate all approximate. Then you need to check your email environment, email server capacity, and you need to have plan and configure all this via this email provisioning. So most of the time people will not implement the separate one. They will have a common email infrastructure in their organization. So they can simply use this email infrastructure with the particular limitation. Say, for example, from this application per hour, they will allow some number of capacity. So you can plan all this as part of this non-functional requirement, because non-functional requirement means my application should behave some expectation. So what I need to do from the infrastructure. Okay, Srinivas, I already unmuted. If you don't have any question, please lower your hand. Okay, the processing each request should take within 10 seconds. So for this, as a technical person, if you are attending any interview or if you are working in any project, what you will do as a technical person? The second point. This point, as a technical person, what you will do? If you have, sorry,
I will add up appropriate hardware so
okay,
that this particular request will get implemented in less than 10 seconds.
yeah, but I'm asking about, as a technical person, what you will plan as an infrastructure point of view. So maybe you can revisit your messaging queue capacity. Is that correct?
That can be done if my infrastructure is not bound to, like, one component is not bound to each other components, then messaging queue factor will come. Else, if the application is directly processing all the request internally, then messaging queue will
Yes.
not come into picture.
Yeah, the
Only
messaging
the JVM
queue,
memory will come into picture.
yeah, the messaging queue, you see, another one thing we need to understand is we can decouple, we should be in a position to decouple all the flexibility. So whenever you plan something, you plan from the outside point of view as a maybe some of the people not from the develop. So we can plan as a API with the whenever I get any request. So the outside you create one wrapper. So this wrapper will take. So this wrapper also we can allocate. Okay, this application, this environment, you have some limitation. So, but this limitation always need to bound with this expectation. So in nutshell, whatever we are implementing, we have to make sure what we agreed or what we it's possible. The backend provisioning point of view. This is going to be how people expect from the outside the end user point of view. And this is also anyone have any idea? The site should load 3 seconds when the number of simultaneous user are. This is the expectation. So as a technical person, what your take on this?
Vijayji, we should do the auto scaling and should have the more hardware when the load is more.
Load is more, yes, but how do you improve your site performance? How do you improve your site performance?
We should have a monitoring tool to check the performance and automate, like you can get some notification kind to email.
Yeah, there are a couple of application related monitoring. You can even go in the which Java or which each process request is taking time. So you can kneel down each request because you know the corresponding wrapper process should take only the say 2 seconds, but you are seeing some the processing itself going more than 5 minutes. So there is some issue. So you need to keep revisit all this as part of your service improvements. So you can either rearrange your query or rearrange the your processing methods. So this also one of the key area where ongoing service improvements. So the another point is a person mentioned the auto scaling point, because your current capacity, say with 10 servers, can have capable to handle some 5,000 people per hour. But if your limitation, if your expectation is going to increase double the size, you also need to ensure the according capacity in the backend automatically, either automatically expansion or the minimum capacity expectation. So these are all have to plan accordingly. And what you will do for this as part of your application environment. Basically, the expectation is user must change the login password. And once I got my username created, I need to change it, because sometimes we need to call customer care and they will reset, or they will send us some reset mechanism. Immediately we have to rearrange the new password. So these are all policy what you will do in the backend. Any Harish? Yeah. Can you? Yeah, I unmuted.
Yeah, we can enable strong IAM rules.
Okay. No, already IAM rule is there. You need to arrange the policy that whenever there is a password change initially assigned, so they have to initiate the password as soon as they log in, right? So this kind of a policy also, it's you have to force in the backend governance. Okay, and this also one of the example that non-functional requirement means if any person wants to view their portal, their login, right? So they can only view, but they should not change anything. Like our HR portal, right? While joining any company, we will submit our documents. So once it's approved, we can able to view our details, but we cannot change it because it's not our area to administrative, right? So these are the expectation. What you will do? So basically, you need to create a role-based access in the backend, right? So this kind of a example, you need to correlate with non-functional requirements and functional requirements. See, simple functional requirements in nutshell, the how people experience. So for that, what I need to provide in the backend. Okay, there is another couple of example. A website should be capable to enough handle 20 million users without any performance compromisation. So what we have to do as a technical person? Any idea? Because nowadays we are almost entering into cloud. So most of the time we are missing the actual points, functional requirements and non-functional requirements. Okay, I think there is a person, Sunita. No, not only auto scaling. That is what see. Whenever there is a performance, people are keep on saying auto scaling, but more than that, there is a many parameters.
We can get the performance reports from the performance testing team to know the extent if we are going beyond what is expected, so that we'll be ready, future ready.
So
to do
as part of this, you need to carefully consider the auto scaling part, and you need to carefully revisit. Say, for example, you have 10 high-end servers, right? But your application is having some difficulty to process as part of multi-threading. There are a lot of things you can revisit. So instead of this, you can add multiple small instance where you can have more threading possible. And this is also one of the area. And also there could be a lot of security in between. Maybe to process your application, there will be a 4 to 5 authentication mechanism, so which also affect this expectation. And also during this, there will be a each transaction have any dependency to call third party. So from your environment to call that third party is lagging. This is also one of the potential. So there are a lot of areas. First, you need to list down your end-to-end task, your application perspective. If one user comes, where and all he is flowing through. These are all the test cases normally people used to do. So each you need to map it with as part of service improvements, which you can provide a better environment to address this expectation. Okay, so as part of this, what the easiest way? Now we are in the almost the expected world. So anyone? Srikanth, yeah, you can go ahead. So the software should be portable. Yep. So the expectation is moving from one OS to another OS does not create any problem, should not. So as a technical person, what exactly your take on this?
Yep, Srikanth here. Here, coming to performance, we will look at the, however, it's a live application, and we will look at the, we will take the threadem, and we will use the APM tools. We will look at what controller pipeline is taking more time to perform it. As you told, what if it is there, if there is any integration with the third-party applications, probably we will look at that side as well. The main take here is we will see what the request is and which service is getting called and what method it is. Is it a get method or put method? So we will look at all these aspects, and we will get to know which control is taking more time and how can we improve it. We can enable something at our end, or else we will take it to the developer to look at it, why it is taking that much time. Ideally, it should not supposed to take it, but somehow it is taking it. And
even for you mentioned the APM tools, right? Even some of the APM tools leading in the market. So there is an option to roll in each JSS query how long it's taking. So there also we can kneel down and see, is there any abnormal time is taking for particular transaction or particular query or particular process. So that also one of the area where it's going to be ongoing service improvement. So these are all will help you to speed up the performance and meet the actual client agreement. So these are all will help you to achieve your RTO in most of the time.
Agree.
Okay, and the second one, what I asked, anyone have any thread dump analyzer where there are you can go with a Veritas i3. There are a lot of new AI tools also started leading in the market. If anyone wants the tools and recommendation, probably I can also share it. So the software should be portable. Moving from one OS to other OS should not create any problem. I given example in my initial 10 minutes. Any idea?
Like we will create images, Docker images there.
Yes. So basically, to address this, you must think on the containerization, right? So containerization is pretty much straightforward. So you create a container with custom image based on your expectation, you push it to centralized registry, container registry, and once you validated and sent to here, right? So spinning from any on top of any platform, even from on-prem, even from cloud. So it doesn't matter what OS environment you have. So you can get rid of all the base architecture OS dependency. This is the major advantage if you want to meet this expectation. Okay, and can you tell me what you will do as a technical person to meet this privacy of information, the export of restricted technologies, and intellectual property rights? Maybe this should be vague as a technical person, but it's worth to understand. See, some of you are not a senior level, but still, what is your technical agreement on this? So I need to achieve this from server point of view, from application point of view, from security point of view, what you will do?
Coming to privacy, so okay, the developer should not hard code the credentials. Instead, he has to use what's called
all global variables.
Yeah.
Okay, and also the any point we should not hard code any server information or IP information or all sensitive information. Directly we must pass through the variable. Okay, because this way, anytime any version or any enhancement, we can easily customize the application without any single point of bottleneck dependency. And also we need to make sure none of the people information should store into anywhere. So it has to validate from one common repository which already agreed with all legislation. So we are just going to refer this and create one sample. Okay, I have validated that point. We are creating as a cookie or some method of validation. And the export of restricted technologies. What is your stake on this? Maybe I will give you an example. So the export of restricted technologies means you have some website is running, but you don't want to expose what platform you are running, because if you see some of the websites, they even forgot to remove. Even last week, one of people found. So we can easily say they are running Tomcat, or they are running in WordPress, or they are running in Joomla, or which platform, Drupal. So these are all you can avoid, you can restrict to outside world, because the outside world should not realize based on which platform you are executing your business or running your business. So these are all information you can restrict. Plus the user information, you need to show what exactly agreed. These are all you need to make sure from the firewall level and security point of view plus application point of view. And what is mean by reliability? What is mean by scalability? This is also one of the question most of the people are failing in the interview. Even from system administrator or DevOps admins. What is your views? Reliability and scalability. Today session is going to be like this. But anyway, we will start some couple of hands-ons. From tomorrow, there won't be any concept level. It's going to be complete hands-on. So what is your views on scalability? Even if you're wrong, please come forward and put it in a table. I'm here to help you. What is the reliability? What is the scalability? Yeah, I'm just yeah, go ahead, Charlie. Your mic is
so Yeah, Vijay. So scalability is like whenever your application needs, whenever your application getting more load, it should get automatically scalable by itself. So how scalable it is, it's called like the scalability.
Okay, can you give me any example? Because some of the people in this, even they don't have any idea.
Okay, for example, if we take the like Amazon's side, so whenever there is like a prime sale time, so that time your application have a more load on that particular 2 days. So that time automatically Amazon should add more number of servers on the load on the particular 2 days, and it should be more scalable.
Okay, so now I'm going to add another funny question. So so you mean scalability means only increasing the servers, correct?
I can put it like hardware, just like
okay. So say for example, I have 100 servers. So scalability, I'm getting some huge traffic. So I'm going to increase another 1,000 servers. So which means the scalability is fulfilled. That is,
maybe
how many of you agree?
Maybe the number of servers or the performance, like number of servers can be added, or the performance of the server can be increased.
Yeah, it can be auto. It can be a vertical scaling or a horizontal scaling.
Yes.
Okay. So now, as part of this scaling, you also please ensure, because this is also one of the question in your AWS exam, most of the exams, even in the interview. As part of this scaling, you also look at the performance, because say for example, a couple of people are thinking that we are adding more machines will resolve the scalability issues. No, as part of while adding, you need to ensure a couple of things. One is, are we adding the right image? Are we adding the updated image? I mean the OS means if I add new image to new spin up, if this new server instance is up and running, means it should be capable to handle all the live requests immediately, which means you keep on revisit the image up to date, patched with all application version. Because sometimes what will happen is we used to update all in the live instance, but we forgot the master image. You agree? You agree this? Because I seen so many times in the production. How many of you agree this version? The auto scaling is not something increasing the machine. Of course, increasing the machine, but from which image? That master image also should taken care on a periodic basis. Whenever you change any single parameter in your application, that master image also has to be updated. So that means you should have all process in place. You all agree, right? Okay. So now another parameter. So you cannot keep increase in one single availability zone itself, because you need to, as part of the GDPR, as part of the data privacy, as part of your BCP plan, you should plan, say, I have availability zone 1. We will see what is availability zone. I have availability zone 2. I have another region, right? So because my application is citibank.com, Citibank is spreaded across each country. So your auto scaling also should be tested across the region, across the availability zone, without any single data privacy issues. These are all you need to take care the scalability. And while planning, you are testing this. Okay, I have created the environment and rule with the other location also. This location also should taken care my reliability, means serve the purpose. And while doing this all analysis and careful implementation, you are also going to take care the performance part. And what is reusability? Any views? What is reusability? because this is also one of the major area where most of the AWS exams will be asked. Okay, Aniken, can you? I have given. Yeah, you go ahead. You are all unmuted only. You can. Aniken or Isaac?
Oh yes. When we talk of flexibility, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, that is when, especially when you you did not in cloud formation, you parameterize your in the Terraform, you allow variables, files, so you can be able to use it over and over, make it more dynamic. In short.
Yes. So you agree, right? So the more we go with the variables, global variables, the more we can use this same code in other implementation also. You agree, right, Isaac? You agree, right? So that means this flexibility means whatever I am automating, whatever I am implementing should also has to reuse in small modification with other environments, which is going to save a lot of time. So this is really you need to take care as part of the NFR. NFR is something you need to keep save your deliverable on further projects also. Right? So wherever you go hereafter, even interview or exam, please start look on all these areas which will give you a more confidence. Okay, let me clear it out quickly. I am going to end this. Okay, and RTO we have just discussed, and I'm just coming down. Okay, how many of you aware what is mean by hybrid cloud? We all know private cloud means inside our data center we can build our own cloud, which is not exposed to outside. And public cloud means we can have all can access from anywhere. So what is mean by hybrid cloud? Because this is also one of the area where I'm keep hearing from people wrong understanding during the interview or from the exam point of view. You can share. I think there is a lot of hands raised. We'll go one by one.
Yeah, hybrid cloud is like so places where we cannot make all the applications or DB as a cloud. So the running with the current setup, like a physical on-prem services. Along with that, some of the web applications and other things we are making it as in cloud. So my understanding is like so with the on-prem and cloud is called hybrid.
Okay, there is a person, Sulaiman. Can you also share? I would request people start speak. Okay, there is a person, Helen. Helen, yeah, you share. What you think? What is hybrid cloud? Helen, are you able to hear me? Yeah, I unmuted your mic. Okay, I think I will just explain some small.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we are able to hear you, Helen.
Okay, from my own understanding, I think hybrid cloud is when an organization decides to use both private cloud and public service provider to host their application. So some organizations do have very sensitive information that they won't want to expose to the public. So they may wish to host those sensitive information in their private cloud, and then have the other information in the public cloud, which are not that sensitive. So at the same time, they are running private and public service. Yes, that is what hybrid means.
Okay, yeah. Go on mute. So yeah, you are correct. I'm going to give you a couple of layman examples, because this is also one of the things people has to understand while you attend any interview or while go to any further exams. Okay, see, I have my private cloud. I have my public cloud. Okay, we will go first point. I have some application running. I have some database. I have a huge data, everything I have in my London office. But I want to take my business to entire world. Okay, but I cannot invest each country data center. But somehow I want to go to the market with a very less investment. So what I'm doing is I'm going to AWS cloud, or I'm going to Azure cloud, or I'm going to Google cloud. I am implementing my front end web app here, right? So using the connectors, I'm going to access my data which is available in my local office, right? So people will access this application from internet across the world, right? So here what is happening? I have my infrastructure, I have my everything in my private cloud. When I need it, I'm expanding to public cloud. You need to carefully align this word. When I needed, I am also expanding. It's a plus. It's not equal. So private cloud, when I needed, I am expanding to public cloud equal to hybrid. So this is a really understanding. We all have to take it. Okay, then second example, I have a lot of testing requirements. Each and every time I need to test something, I get rid of it every 3 months. But once tested, I have to replicate in my on-prem private. Okay, so now I'm doing everything. When I need it, I have to replicate my private. So here my environment or my application or my requirement is in public. When I need it, I am expanding and to private. So this is also called hybrid. Okay, nowadays there is another area is booming. I heard that many of you started hearing data everywhere, right? So as Helen mentioned, very important point, there is a sensitive data, even Srikanth and somebody also mentioned. So I have a sensitive data. So I cannot transfer this data to public cloud. So I have to keep the data in my on-prem only, that is a private cloud only, right? But I want to do all data catalog or data virtualization or everything from public cloud, right? Using Azure. If you go to Azure, there is a component called Azure Purview. Okay, Azure Purview. So this is the tool where you can explore. Even there is a Power BI. So these are all data related tools where you keep all your data in your on-prem, which is also a private cloud. So you use these components to extract or view or analyze your data. Hybrid model. This is exactly, it's getting boomed now. So how many of you still don't understand? Please raise your query hand. We will discuss before we go for a short break. Okay, Srinath. So yeah, go ahead. I unmuted. Helen, you understand, right, Helen?
Yes, I
Hi.
do.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Vijay. Can we think something like this, where the actual data is what has to be at the back end could be in the private cloud, and the front end where it actually processes could be the those applications could be in the public cloud.
It's correct. but still it entirely depends on what you are trying to move to the market.
Correct. I'm just trying to from a basic understanding perspective.
Yes.
So which has to be secured and safe has to be in the private, and which applications, which will not have an impact, but still at the front end, that could be the public one. I can keep it in the public one.
Yes. See, the another point is initially maybe 2 to 3 years back, everybody thought after public cloud we are going to lose the jobs. After public cloud, what will happen? My on-prem. So please understand that you are going to stick with your data center only. The method of accessing the way of data to the internet from the internet is going to utilize this public cloud. That's it. So your data is going to remain here. Your data is going to all set up. Everything is going to remain here only. Only some clients they don't want to take the complete IT headache. They are trying to have a mutual agreement with custom pricing offer. They are completely moving to the cloud. Even with public cloud, you have a lot of private cloud offering because they are providing the complete data center in their premises with more contractual obligations. But as long as you have data, huge data in private, you are on-prem, you need to only think about how you are going to access the data from public. So either you have to establish the specific connectivity backbone. So you plan like in that way. But please don't think public cloud public cloud plus private cloud equal to hybrid cloud. No, public cloud, when you need, you are extending to private cloud equal to hybrid cloud. Public cloud, when you need it, you are expanding to private cloud equal to hybrid cloud. It's not plus when you need it. Are you clear, Srinath?
Yes, Vijay. Yeah.
Okay.
Vijay, this hybrid cloud anywhere comes in cost saving?
It's not about cost saving. It's about more into how you are serving the security. Like you anyway, you are going to handle a lot of your data, right? So the data privacy is main thing nowadays. So when you think on the hybrid, first thing is what exactly you are going to share the outside world. So definitely not your complete data set, right? So the data you are not going to keep transfer to the public cloud. That itself going to kill you on the cost. So you keep everything here, only metadata, most of the cases you keep it in public cloud and serve via most of the web app or there are a lot of data catalog tools. And Satya, I can unmute.
Is secure device hybrid cloud is safer?
Yes. See, you need to define your security governance, which I'm about to bring after this internship. I'm going to launch the security-based discussion, security-based governance with more examples. Probably we can have more clarity on that. Yes, you can implement more robust security governance because the future is hybrid, Satya.
Okay.
So that is where I'm keep on advising people. Don't worry if you are in on-prem, you are not going to lose anything. Only thing is you are going to handle some more task. That's it.
Or we can use a direct connect or dedicated network to
Yes. So in our actual use case, there is going to be one direct connect, how we can transfer the data, everything, so that people can be very in depth on how we can move our data, everything. Okay, so before we go for a short break, I just want to have a couple of things. So what we are going to do is we are going to discuss on the how to size VMs, how to save the cost, the VM part capacity wise, and also how to define if your client or interview or exam asking you to define and come up with the number of resources. So how you need to do it. So then we will go to Azure and AWS Direct Console. I will show you a couple of things. So to make sure you are good in understanding. Okay. Slowly we will move on towards the hands-on. I will start give you and you stop me whenever you struck with understanding wise or some. If you have any confusion, please stop me. So can we have some 5 to 10 minutes? So you all rejoin 5 after 5 minutes.
Yeah, Vijay, just one query.
Yeah.
Can you go back to the NFR slide?